All right, welcome. Our anticipated podcast. This is our premiere. I'm Jamar. This is Deshaun. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm ready to get this thing kicked off. As we stated before, a lot of fantasy football to talk about.
Yes,
It's been a lot of good things going on around the league. It's been like a few injuries, but all in all, man, fantasy football season is back, baby.
it is, man. It is. And and speaking of which, we had a draft already. Normally in our league, because me and you've been in the league for about over a decade, probably
Oh
about
my God,
11,
easily.
12 years now.
Yep.
And we normally draft around Labor Day weekend. But since there's no preseason games going on and, limited practices, it's like, I guess
Hey.
might as well try to draft, right? There's no
Oh yeah.
sense. There's no harm in drafting early. So we're going to discuss that before we actually get into some players here that we feel like is falling way behind their ADP that you should probably grab because they've going to
Okay.
actually
So
do
let me
something.
ask you this, man. So with the number that you drafted, how do you feel like the draft went for you?
Well, I would say this, like the way the draft started, it threw my game plan out the window.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right, so let me share this screen here. Let me get this going.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's do this. This one right here. All right. Is this screen showing for you, your team?
Oh, yep, that's my team right there.
All right. So yeah, if people don't know, this is a two quarterback league, meaning you start two quarterbacks. We using the ESPN platform on this league. Two running backs, two wide receivers, tight end flex, defense, special teams, and the kicker, and we get seven bench spots. So it is a total of 17 players on your roster here. Um, it's 10 teams in this league. Besides Deshaun, there's other people that we've been playing with. Just about for the most part for the same amount of time. This is basically this group of guys that I've been playing with. Some I knew before this group, some afterwards. Basically, it became a tight knit family. So with that being said, I've had the fourth overall pick, and I believe you had the sixth, right?
I did. I did.
All right. So
Also, don't fail to mention that we also did like a keepers league as well, just for
mm,
one pick. So that actually like spiced things up a bit. That honestly, that's why I kind of more so dropped the ball. Like I normally do my due diligence, man. I'm normally like on it, but up on like draft day when it came around, I tried to make a pick that was already a keeper. So I'm like, okay, I got to go back to like the drawing board. That's when I started like stumbling, but luckily I regained, my focus. And I think my team is definitely one that can compete. No, I do not believe I have the best team in the league, but it's from top to bottom, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good.
it is, man. Because I'm not gonna lie, there's a couple of guys like on the comeback around in the snake format. I was like ready to snap, or more so ready to grab. Especially one in particular, Kyler Murray. I was a little upset about that one. I'm telling you, like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, man. The way that Arizona's like offense is like set up this year, man, it's looking to score a lot of points. They need a little bit help up on like the defensive side of the ball. They got a couple of premier players, but other than that, they just got some up and coming guys looking to make some noise. But man, that offense is like low key like stacked, man. It really is.
It
So
is,
Kyler in
man.
his second year, I believe Kyler finished eighth overall last year. Um, so that's pretty good for a rookie, man. And he's feeling a little bit more comfortable with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins. Man, sky's the limit for that offense.
It is. It really is. And I see, Big Ben is I feel like that's a solid QB2, especially the way the draft went initially. So
Absolutely.
Zeke and Mixon can't even, be that's solid right there. Julio, AJ Brown, that man, he is a stud. We
He
already know
really
about
is.
Julio, but I mean AJ Brown, up and coming stud right there.
Up and coming stuff for sure.
James Conner's a flex, that's solid. Still is
Very.
D. I mean, anytime you got a Kansas City Chiefs kicker, I mean, you guarantee some points there.
Man, they gonna score a bunch of points. Like that's kind of more so what you want to do. You see the same thing with Baltimore, how they scored a crap ton of points last year, and that's why Tucker is gonna always be. Not only that, it's just he can just kick it. He's the best kicker in like the league. But you definitely want to go with a team that's gonna score a bunch of points. For
Right.
sure.
And even just mentioning Tucker, even in the years where their offense was a little stagnant, just he was the exception for the rule because his leg, they always had like 50-plus yard field goal attempts, and he was nailing them. So he was
Oh, for sure.
he was an exception to the rule. But with where their offense is now, yeah, he is definitely in that top tier for kickers. But one thing I do want to get into as far as your team, your bench is it's like low key, like good, like really good.
I mean, it really is. I got a couple of players that's not gonna add like standalone value. That's Laddie Murray, but he is definitely a pretty good backup / handcuff.
Mm-hmm.
A player that I'm super high on this year is Daniel Jones, man. Like he honestly is my breakout candidate player of the year. I think he has the potential, and I also made like a little wager with my brother that he was going to finish top 10 in fantasy
Ooh,
quarterback this year. So hopefully I hang true to that. But J.K. Dobbins is like another prospect.
yeah.
Mark Ingram is, I believe, 31 years of age now. So he's kind of more so getting up there. But J.K. Dobbins from Ohio State is a do-it-all running back, man. So he's pretty good. But I do like my bench. I'm gonna go ahead and throw like a nugget in there
All
for
right,
those who don't know, man.
what you got?
Um, what I tend to do every time that I draft, and my success in the way that I draft. I won multiple championships. I've
Mm-hmm.
went back to back before. I'm always in the mix every year. What I try to do is, and you and I even went up, over this offline, is
Right.
I try my best to grab at least one player position that's within the top 10.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and break that down for you.
All right.
So Kyler Murray, this year he was ranked number 4 overall, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's for my quarterback. So if you want to go down to Zeke, I believe Zeke was ranked number 3. Even
Sounds
if
about
you want
right.
to stay with Mixon, Mixon is in the top 10. Honestly, he's ranked number 10 overall. So that's why I
Mm.
feel really, really strong for my running backs right now. Julio Jones is another wide receiver who is ranked inside the top 5, which is solid for me. I love Julio. He's been on my team multiple years. He's been a part of championship teams. We know Julio's pedigree. Let's
Right.
go ahead and skim down to the tight ends. This is where I dropped the ball. It was so many keeper tight ends this year. But Evan Ingram was ranked outside of 6. I don't believe he'll finish that high. I think he'll finish somewhere between 8 and 9, in my opinion. So that
Mm-hmm.
was also a good pick. Steelers defense, in my opinion, will be a top 2 defense. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Defense is
And
stacked.
we know that Harrison Butker will be a top 3 kicker just because they score a crap ton of points. If you draft with that same mentality, man, you will be able to compete. I'm not guaranteeing you a championship, but I guarantee you that you would be able to compete with any team that's out there. And that's kind of more so the formula that I like to choose whenever I'm drafting. That's why I had to take Kyler Murray like at that point, man, because it's like a couple of quarterbacks went off the board. I'm like,
Man,
I just about to go ahead and grab mine now, man.
just so everyone knows, the second overall pick was Patrick Mahomes. Just so
It was
everybody knows,
wild.
it
But
threw us off. And then on
but the
go ahead.
but the thing about that, bro, is the guy who picked him, I believe he has a top 3 team.
Yeah,
I
he
believe he
does.
has a top 3 team. So
Just based on how everything, like the snowball effect of that, threw people off. So his team is solid, and we can get into his team in a little bit here. But
for sure.
and then just one last note about your team. Christian Kirk was your keeper, and I feel like in that offense, he is going to be something else. Even with DeAndre Hopkins, even with Fitz, even with Kenyon Drake, like
Man,
he
look at all those names you just named. That's a lot of offense in a lot of good
he's
key
going to get
places,
single
man.
coverage. That's the thing. He's going to get single coverage.
For sure. For sure.
That's man. Arizona. That's a scary a scary team with a lot of fantasy value this year.
I agree.
All right, and then shout out to the Black Lives Matter name.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're gonna check out my team really quick, and this team here really quick. Justice for Breonna Taylor. I'm on the same boat with you.
Yes, sir. Support the cause.
Yes, sir. All right, so my team consists of, let's see, we got Josh Allen. Dating back to your formula, he's ranked in the top 10.
Yes, sir.
Jared Goff, I guess he's a solid QB2 right now. He has a little upside, I guess, because the Rams offense in general can score points at times. Alvin Kamara, top 10 right there. Austin Eckler, actually top 10 as well.
Yes. He's going to do numbers this year. He's going to do numbers. Great pick, man. Great pick. And that's crazy. That's your RB2. Man, that's crazy. So I think you almost have go ahead, man. I'm gonna let you finish. We're gonna definitely break down that a little bit later.
And I snuck in and got DJ Moore, I think in let's see, because I went fifth round. I think I got DJ Moore in the fifth round. Tyler Lockett, I think in the sixth or something like that. Darren Waller was my keeper. I had to, based on the scarcity of tight ends. Normally, I felt like I had to. Kenyon Drake, I got him as my flex.
Dude, that is insane. And you know what? I didn't notice that until we chatted offline a couple of days ago when I was going through your team. I'm like, how did that happen, man? Dude, if you look at your running back core, I honestly think you do have the best in the league, to be completely honest. So, kudos to you, bro.
Appreciate that. I honestly feel the same way. Just because my fourth running back is Le'Veon Bell. And I feel like when I got him, that was a steal just because, I know last year production in the Jets, I get it, but it's opportunity is always there. So you never know what can happen with him. He's a star running back in the league. But yeah, took a little chances here. AJ Green, that's just, based on how the draft fell. Low risk, high reward. When he's healthy, he's a stud for sure.
Yep.
Probably top 10 talented wide receiver in the league when healthy. Julian Edelman, he might be a target hog once again this year. I feel like wide receivers in New England will actually have separation this year because they have to probably put a lot of guys in the box for Cam Newton when he starts. So we'll see. Kirk Cousins, just a solid quarterback at this point, late in the draft. Henry Ruggs, he has a lot of upside there. I think the fastest guy in the draft, I believe.
Yes, sir.
My prospect, Antonio Gibson, with the uncertainty of the running back situation with the Washington football team.
Yeah, I wanted him. So I didn't want to pick him too early, but then about time, it came back around, I'm looking Gibson. Where I'm God dang it, man. He already snatched them from up underneath me. So that was a good pick. That backfield is uncertain. So that was definitely a great pick by you, sir.
Appreciate that. And then my last pick was Emmanuel Sanders in New Orleans. Never know that. They offense with high firepower. So he might actually, be a reliable flex play in the future. Who knows? But all in all, I feel like my team is solid. I feel like maybe one or a couple of players, probably one player away in probably the quarterback or the wide receiver position to really probably contending for the best team in the league. But I feel like I'm on the glass half full approach on this one.
Oh, for sure. And that was what I was just about to say. The only position that I can see that you would probably need a little help with along the way, granted, if AJ Green is the AJ Green of old, you're set. Julian Edelman can even gain some. See, it'll be tough for you, man. Who do you play in your flex? Because it's dude, your team is that good. I'm okay, maybe you can switch out Julian Edelman inside your flex, but you got Kenyon Drake, who's pretty much gonna stay there. Dude,
So,
that is crazy.
Yeah. So how I approach it is so for my draft, my first 3 picks was running backs. I've never done that in an actual draft before. I've done that a few times in a mock draft just to see how it would flow. And the times I did in the mock draft, my team didn't look half bad.
Okay.
So based on Patrick Mahomes going second, and the snowball effect from that, and the person that had the first overall pick on his second and third pick went Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson.
Whew, that was a killer.
That definitely, I mean,
It
once
shook the
again,
draft up.
it's a 2 quarterback league, so I get it. If it was just a single quarterback league, my eyebrows be a little raised, but I get it. It's 2 quarterback league. The value of quarterbacks, actually goes up. But yeah, as far as the flex, if I can have a dual threat running back as my flex in any league, I will take that in a heartbeat, without
Great
question.
formula. Great
Without
formula.
question. So right now I'm keeping this 3-headed monster until further notice.
I don't blame you on that one bit, man. You got all 3 guys right there who can potentially finish inside the top 10 at that position. Dude, that's automatically a recipe for success. So I wouldn't tweak that at all too much either.
Man, likewise. So I'm trying to, right before I get rid of our share screen, because I know on the app, on the app it shows you like that, like the projected finishes or whatnot. You know what like how you would finish like for the season or whatnot. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I check it every time that the draft is done.
Here it is, final standing projections. So, ESPN gives you like a rough draft of, based on how your team is, of the moves that you make and, the results. It kind of like fluctuates of, how your team will finish. So,
Wow, looks like me and you flipped. Yeah, I went down one. You went up one. Wow. Oh
and
yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to change that. Wow, I didn't even. This is like breaking news for me. I did not see this.
me
I did
either.
not
This
see this at
first time
all.
I clicked it here. So
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, so the guy that drafted Mahomes second, he's actually the second team listed right here, LexCorp.
Yep.
And I'll briefly show his team and the number one team really quick, just to give you an idea how this draft went. So opposing teams, where are you? We're gonna go LexCorp first. Shout out to Alex, man. Always stirring up some stuff in this draft. So yeah, Mahomes and Rodgers. I mean, we know Rodgers is an exceptional quarterback. If he can actually have some real fantasy value this year, that this team can really blow up. Josh Jacobs, I'm very high on him. Actually,
We
that's
both we both love him. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
that's one of our picks for ADP being lower than what it should be. I feel like he's going to finish in the top 5 this year. That's how I feel. DJ, that's a very solid pick. Honestly, it was either between DJ or Kenyon Drake for me for that third running back spot.
Okay.
Stephon Diggs, home run threat. T.Y. Hilton. I guess that's going to be the product of how him and Rivers get along. Kelsey, my gosh. Lamb, I mean, he there's a lot of upside there for CD Lamb, DK Metcalf, Noah Fant, Bridgewater.
I like how you skipped over Sony Michelle like that, man.
I'm not even gonna get I swear I mean, in fact, they signed Lamar Miller. That backfield is crowded, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do with that one right there. His team is solid, really solid.
Very solid.
And then just really quick, the projected first place team. Shout out to Woody, man. First time he actually appeared in a draft in like 3 years. Always auto drafted. But no, this one is like, I don't really see any holes in this team too much. Dak, I mean, he I think they got him ranked 3rd this year, and I mean, he's in a high power offense. They can do some damage. Carson Wentz, I mean, they got him ranked 10th. I mean, we feel like he probably won't finish 10th. There's some quarterbacks that probably finish a little higher, but that's still a solid pick for your quarterback too.
Oh yeah.
We love Dalvin Cook. Love
Love
Dalvin
him,
Cook.
love him, love him, love him. In that run heavy offense, man. Hey, hand the ball off to Cook, get out the way.
Absolutely. Chris Carson, as long as he doesn't fumble, he's a great option. Mike Evans with Tom Brady. Adam Thielen. I mean, I guess Kirk Cousins showed him how to run some routes now. Mark Andrews. I mean, he definitely has top 3 potential tight end for this year. Mostert, solid right now. Go to the bench. Rojo, that's an interesting guy. Rojo.
Yeah, like I wanted to draft him, but I honestly didn't do too much research on how the backfield in Tampa is going to like turn out. But if my memory serves me correct, he can also catch pretty well out the backfield, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he can.
So that'll add an extra dimension because you know how Tom Brady likes to like dump off a bit, and this is a PPR league.
Right.
So yeah, in retrospect, man, maybe I should have taken a chance on him.
It's like when they signed LaShawn McCoy, it kind of like down me a little bit on him because
I know, and I think that's what did it for me too.
Because before that, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take a chance on him because he has breakaway speed too, just like this guy here.
Oh, that's Mr. Breakaway Speed,
man. And I heard he added 15 pounds of muscle too.
Oh wow.
So he's not gonna be fragile anymore. He's gonna still have that breakaway speed, but bounce off a couple of people.
Hollywood Brown.
I mean, Crowder's gonna have a lot of targets. Jimmy's a solid backup. Hawkinson, when healthy, he's solid. Sterling Shepard, I mean, he can probably put up some points too. So I mean, his team is solid. His team
really
is solid. So I mean, we're gonna see how that goes. So I'm gonna stop sharing the screen here. All right. So, how do you feel about getting into some players here that can possibly help out some people that's being drafted not relative to their ADP, as in players that's falling through the cracks here that probably should be drafted a lot higher?
Yeah, man, for sure. Like we can definitely get into that.
All right, we're gonna start with the quarterback position. I know one guy you basically mentioned already.
Oh yeah, man, that quarterback is Daniel Jones. If you guys like break this down, okay. So you just got done mentioning Sterling Shepard, so he's a part of his receiving core, right?
Right.
You also have like Speedster that's going to be primarily up on the outside, and Darius Slayton, he's a pretty good up and coming wide receiver. You have Golden Tate for like those critical third down catches, the sure-handed guy. And man, we can't forget about Saquon Barkley in the backfield. I didn't even mention Evan Ingram. If all those guys are healthy, man, he has options on how to pass the ball, man. So Daniel Jones, like honestly, he is his own worst enemy this year.
That's facts. And believe it or not, it's like one of the guys that I do like is the number 1 overall pick, Joe Burrow. Okay. Just because the dynamic he brings for that franchise. Because we know over the past couple of years, probably the most consistent player on the Cincinnati Bengals has been Tyler Boyd. Mm-hmm. Especially since A.J. Green hasn't really been on the field. He has stepped up and produced for a lot of people as far as their fantasy football team, and probably even won them some championships over the past couple of years with his production. So if we add Joe Burrow to the Cincinnati team that probably needs some more energy here, that needed some, I guess, quote unquote swag, some flair here. And he's a fairly accurate quarterback too, and can move the ball with his legs if needed. So you add that with Tyler Boyd, AJ Green if he's on the field, Joe Mixon.
Whew.
I feel like
Joe Mixon are low-key weapons, man. Low-key weapons for sure.
Because I love Joe Mixon's talent. But for whatever reason, he hasn't like surged until what I know he can be.
Right. I'm with you, man. And you know what, man? Like this is kind of weird. You and I both watch a lot of college football, so I always feel like we do have like a leg up on the competition. We'll even sometimes, text and chat about a guy that's coming up. Dude, we mentioned a lot of Oklahoma players' names in this draft, from Kyler Murray to Hollywood Brown to Joe Mixon to Mark Andrews. Man, it's been a lot. I don't know. A lot of Oklahoma products have been doing well. CeeDee Lamb, man. We mentioned a lot of guys from Oklahoma. So shout out to Oklahoma, man.
Man, they definitely producing some quality NFL talent, man. But yeah, I love Burrow. And probably, I guess for, somebody to definitely keep an eye on, just because I feel like their offense here will actually maybe start producing points in the near future, either this year or definitely next year. Drew Lock.
Drew Lock, okay.
Drew Lock. I know the sample size is really small, but I feel like he's actually one of the few young quarterbacks that actually might be set up for success, just because based on the weapons he has around him, like that team, like it's a lot of like underrated pieces on that team. For one, Cortland Sutton, which is probably a guy that's getting drafted too low as well.
Yep.
I feel like he is going to be a solid, number one option for that team, and probably has a chance of finishing. I'm gonna just throw this out there, probably top 10.
Top 10. I mean, I can definitely see that. And so we kind of jumped the gun up on wide receivers. He was one of two names that I would typically like pick. Man, like the guy has it all. He's the wide receiver that you want on your team. He's just embodies the prototypical wide receiver. Dude, the backfield. Let's talk about the backfield. That backfield is great. We got Melvin Gordon III back there, Philip Lindsay, who's known to, rush for 1,000 yards for a couple of his seasons in the league. And they just added Jerry Jeudy, route running machine, man. So, man, they do have a lot of talent, and definitely one of the young up-and-coming teams inside the NFL. So they got a lot of key pieces and a lot of guys who I project to be drafted. Yep, and that would be my tight end right there, man. That's my sleeper tight end for sure.
All right, let me hurry up and get off this quarterback before I start unveiling everything.
Spoiling, man.
All right, so we're going to pivot to running backs here. Now, I know we both mentioned Josh Jacobs here, and I know he's, ranked 14th, I guess, based on the ESPN projections here. But is there anybody else that you like here?
Let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and throw out one name that kind of more so stuck out to me, and that's Kareem Hunt. Okay, so we are inside of a PPR league, right?
Right.
And that is how you're gonna score a ton of points by catching the football. A lot of people don't give this guy enough credit. I get it. Like, he had his troubles off the field, but he is an uber talented running back, multi-dimensional running back. He can do it all. He can block. He can pass. He can catch. I'm sorry. He can catch. He can rush the football with the best of them. Led the league in rushing his rookie year. But with this team, I know that he has Nick Chubb there, and that's going to scare a lot of people from picking this guy up, but definitely don't. I can easily see him as a RB2 in a PPR league. Now I know I'm throwing that out there, but he is just that talented to where, and we've seen in like the couple of games in which he came back from suspension, he was automatically a presence up on the football field. So if they keep with that same formula, I can see this guy being definitely a low-end RB2, but definitely he's a set it and forget it flex, in my opinion. But do not let the presence of what's the running back there? Nick Chubb. Don't let the presence of Nick Chubb, derail you from picking this guy up. He deserves a spot up on your roster.
Man, I can't be mad at you on that one. I mean, finish as RB2. I can see it. I can.
Only in the PPR league now, mind you. Only in the PPR league. Standard, definitely. I can see you picking them a little bit later. So,
facts. So I might throw a little curveball here.
Okay.
But I like the rookie, Jonathan Taylor.
Ooh, ooh. Man, the only thing that kept me away from him, to be completely honest, is
Yeah.
just the Colts offense is you never know which way it's gonna go. And Marlon Mack, when he was there, when he was healthy, he really had like a productive, like outing whenever he was up on the field. So I can definitely see that. But with Marlon Mack still being there, how much will he cut into his, development? So
Right.
it was
So
kind of like more so that type of thing.
right. And that's a legitimate point. So I guess made me more encouraged over the last few days is I guess going by what the coach says. And I know sometimes the coach can be misleading,
Mm.
but the feeling is that they're going to, go with the hot hand, and Jonathan Taylor is like they're gonna give him chances to be that guy. And that offense with, having a new old quarterback come in with, the wide receiver position outside of T.Y. Hilton isn't, solidified yet. I mean, you got Michael Pittman who can definitely probably put up some numbers. Jack Doyle, a tight end that's been consistent, but has been on the injury bug. I mean, Marlon Mack has been solid for them, but has been injured as well. So you gotta that matter of fact, every player that I've mentioned has injury history. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
So in a team that with Phillip Rivers as your quarterback and you need some consistency, some just a definite like a side option, some type of outlet. I feel like Jonathan Taylor can be that guy for them, especially if the injury bug, hits again. It's like he has nothing but opportunity there. He has the talent. It's just the opportunity. Once the opportunity presents itself, I feel like he can definitely finish as a solid RB2 probably by the end of this year. Flex play is definitely considerable right now, but
Oh, for sure.
I feel like he could finish as a strong RB2.
See, and at the time in which I was gonna pick him or someone else, I'm not sure who I was choosing between like the two picks, but
Yeah.
in the draft like this, when a lot of guys know their stuff, you definitely want to go with the sure thing. So Jonathan Taylor, like you said, very, very good talent. Rushed the ball a ton in college. Can show he's durable. He can take on 25 plus carries a game. So I think he will be great in the future. But how much will other running backs up on that roster cut into his production? I don't know.
Right. So I'll end it by saying this. So, if you have a keeper league or a dynasty league, obviously you definitely want to form a dynasty league.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so if you already have two solid, you got your RB1 and RB2 solidified in your draft, right? And you
Yep.
see him, honestly, I can't remember which round he's going right now, but I'm saying I wouldn't draft him to be your RB2. You would draft him to be your flex right now,
Okay.
at best.
And that's smart. And dude, I am totally on board for that. That was kind of more so what I did with J.K. Dobbins, considering that we do have a keepers league from round 10 on. So if he's gonna do the numbers that I think he will toward like the latter part of the season, he's definitely gonna be my keeper for next year. So I
Right.
can definitely see that same approach.
Exactly. And then just to throw out a couple of names we don't necessarily have to get into that I kind of, um, that's still probably not getting drafted high enough. I feel like James White is probably getting undrafted in a lot of leagues right now. And, if Cam Newton is starting quarterback, I feel like James White going to see a lot of action. Just a nugget there. Um, I would say, Tevin Coleman, I know Moster's there, but that running back by committee. And, when Coleman was actually playing last year, he was definitely won people individual weeks last year,
I
especially
know he did for
during the
me,
crunch
man.
time. I think he had a
Yes.
4-touchdown game, I think.
Something like that. Yes.
Yeah, so that, and then just one other name just want to throw out there is probably Zach Moss from the Bills. Just keep an eye out on him,
Okay.
especially in
Yes.
deeper leagues.
Yeah, I think a lot of people automatically assume that Devin Singletary was just going to take over that backfield, but they drafted Moss, and I can definitely see it. It seems like a lot of teams are going this route, right? Running back by committee, keep their guys fresh. Either you have like a ground and you have like a thunder and lightning type of approach. Like that's how like a lot of teams are doing it right now, and I can see that running backs stay injured, so that's pretty smart by a lot of teams in the NFL.
Facts. All right, so we're gonna switch gears here and go to the divas of the NFL, the wide receivers. All right, so I mean, it is. I feel like there's a lot of studs here. Now I know that one guy that we did post on our Instagram page. By the way, follow us on Instagram, the Destination Fantasy. We'll have the link at the bottom. Is Allen Robinson. I know he's projected
Love
ranked
him.
in the top 10, but I feel like he can definitely finish even higher than that.
Yes, and that's I'm not sure who's going to be under center for your Chicago Bears, man. Whether it's going to be Nick Foles or Mitchell Trubisky, but they do have Allen Robinson, and that guy, he is a target machine. He gets a lot of targets, and if he can turn at least 60% of those targets into catches, he's going to have a big year. He's a great wide receiver. Love him. I drafted him in a couple of leagues and as my wide receiver too. So I see him as being a low-end wide receiver one, and I'm not going to take that off the table. He's just that good.
All right, so you know what? I'm going to play a slight game here. It's like basically, who would you rather have?
Okay.
Allen Robinson or – all right, so and we're going to do this around players around there that's somewhat – around their ADP on this one. All right, so Allen Robinson or Kenny Galladay?
Ooh, man, that's a good one, man. Oh, Jesus Christ, man, you definitely put me on the spot on that. Okay, I'm gonna say equal, and here's why. Kenny Galladay is gonna get you a ton of touchdowns. Okay, and I feel like that Allen Robinson will get you a little bit more yards as well as catches. Galladay is a vertical threat, right? Allen Robinson is the type of guy who can make those tough catches. We've seen this guy extend for balls that was way out of his target zone, and he just hauls them in. Galladay is more so of a deep threat, so his catches per season are going to be relatively low. It's going to be somewhere between the 75 to 80 mark. Robinson's is going to be somewhere between the 90 to 100. So in the PPR league right there, I think it kind of more so evens out. And Galladay's name is a little bit more sexier than Allen Robinson's is, but I'm going to give I can't even give a slight ass to Robinson here, bro. They're going to be completely equal. I believe they're going to finish maybe 10 points within each other.
All right,
that's a good one. Hopefully the next one isn't as hard.
All right, we got a few more here. DJ Moore or Allen Robinson?
Give me Allen Robinson.
Okay.
Give me Allen Robinson over DJ Moore.
All right,
and I believe DJ Moore is finishing a little bit higher ranked than Allen Robinson, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Give me Allen Robinson all day.
All right. Adam Thielen.
Or
A-Rob.
Adam Thielen or A-Rob. Give me A-Rob. I like this guy, man. I'm sorry. I really like this guy. So.
Okay. All right. Three more. Amari Cooper, A-Rob.
Give me A-Rob over Amari Cooper as well. Amari Cooper, it seems like, okay, Amari Cooper is good, no doubt about it, but there's a lot of mouths to feed in Dallas. He is the wide receiver focal point there, but let's not mention that Michael Gallup as well had over 1,000 yards receiving. True. With the addition of CeeDee Lamb there's going to be a lot of mouths to feed. And I believe that the targets for Amari Cooper were dropped significantly this year. Is he still going to be a productive wide receiver? Absolutely. But I have Amari Cooper ranked as a very high wide receiver too. Allen Robinson is still a wide receiver one in my opinion, so Allen Robinson there.
All right. And then two more. Allen Robinson or Odell Beckham Jr.?
Give me Allen Robinson. And here is why Odell Beckham is right now. I want to go with the sure thing, right? Odell has had his ups and downs up on just a mind-boggling uh, Cleveland Browns like offense. I'm not sure how that offense is going to go. Give me Allen Robinson because this guy's target share is amazing. That's how I like to tend to pick. Even if the guy isn't performing well, if he's getting the targets, that means he's going to perform well in some time in like the future. Those
Right.
targets are not going away for Allen Robinson. Best clear-cut wide receiver on that team. So give me Allen Robinson over Odell Beckham.
All right. And then the last one here, Allen Robinson or your boy Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh man, that is tough. Give me Allen Robinson over Juju Smith-Schuster. And here is why. So Juju's coming off of an injured year. Damn, can I retract my statement? No, I'm still gonna stick with Allen Robinson. Juju's coming off of an injured year. Allen Robinson's more so of the sure thing. I still have Juju Smith-Schuster as a wide receiver 2 with high upside, obviously. And I still have Allen Robinson as a back-end wide receiver 1. So I'm going to choose Allen Robinson over all those more so sexier names. Give me the sure guy, Allen Robinson.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So as you hear, ladies and gentlemen, Allen Robinson is definitely a player that you want to have on your team this year. He's
Yes,
probably
do not make the mistake of, shying away from this guy just because he doesn't have that wow factor like an Odell Beckham. He outperformed him. He outperformed a lot of these, more so bigger wide receivers, man. So
facts.
Shout out A-Rod.
That's my boy. Go Bears. All right, so there's a couple other names I definitely want to mention. Give them their flowers, give them some love. Make sure you guys keep an eye out for these guys. We're gonna start with Devontae Parker. That's our boy.
Man, love this guy. Finally broke out to be the receiver that we know he could be. I believe he was picked in the first round whenever he was drafted years back, and we just waited. We saw flashes of him being picked. Even in draft, I took a chance on him maybe 2 years ago. I'm like, this is the year. Then I did it again. This is the year. And I stayed away from him for like a little bit. And he made me regret that last year. He finally broke out and he looks great, bro.
But the crazy thing is, like, if you follow like really closely to his story, like he wasn't even supposed to be on the team last year.
No, he was not.
He wasn't even supposed to be on the team. This man's been in a doghouse for so long. And him and the front office didn't get along, and definitely contract extension stalled at one point. But I think a lot of it had to been on. I think he just changed his manner here. I felt like he just figured it out. Like he's just gonna like just shut up and play and just let his play do the talking. And thank God, because I'm rooting for this guy, and he got his contract extension. He put up numbers. So, I mean, he is the number 1 wide receiver in this Dolphins offense. Now, granted, here's the thing. Like, Fitzpatrick is probably going to be your day 1 starter again.
Oh, I think so.
And, him and Parker has some type of chemistry here because Parker started putting up some huge numbers when they put him in the game. So, in a Dolphins team that's, still rebuilding, that's probably going to be down a lot. They're going to be passing the ball a lot and in order to keep up in games. So that is a guy that I feel like because he's drafted as looks like maybe a fringe flex option right now, or almost close to a wide receiver 3 here. I feel like he's a lot better than that, man. It's definitely, I would say a flex option for sure. Probably finish as a wide receiver 2. And he'll have some games that he'll put up wide receiver 1 numbers for individual weeks. So that's a guy that I definitely will keep an eye on. If
finally figured it out, man. And kudos to him. Like you said, man, we were both rooting for this guy. We thought he was going to be something special. Didn't turn that on until like late, but better late than never, right? So Devontae Parker is one of those names that people need to be aware of when drafting.
Man, and then I do want to mention something else. So this probably gonna be my first time saying it, but I was kind of thinking of it for the last couple of weeks. So this season gonna be, I call the Deshaun Watson MVP tour.
Oh wow! Okay.
And that's just because of basically Houston took his best player away, got him out of there because of coach and him differences, some stupid. But basically, like, all right, Deshaun, we want to give you this contract extension, but you're gonna have to work with the players that we got around you. So with that being said, Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks. Now, we both know these guys have injury histories. I get it. But these guys definitely have some upside here because of their talent and their opportunity.
Okay.
Will Fuller is probably going to be a wide receiver 1 on that team, the number one option. Brandon Cooks, probably 1A, I would imagine. Brandon Cooks has produced multiple 1,000-yard seasons. Will Fuller, at times, when this man has been healthy, has definitely won you weeks by himself, probably the leading point getter in a week a few times, just because he can blow the roof off a defense.
Yep.
Matter of fact, Brandon Cooks can too.
Yeah, and that was what I was going to say is, so they're basically the same receiver. They're basically vertical threats. So you got one guy who's going to line up on one side or the other. So man, they're gonna have some speed. So you're gonna have to take account for both those guys.
Exactly, and these guys are being drafted as wide receiver 4s right now. Wide receiver 4s.
Both.
So, yeah, they got them ranked back to back next to each other.
I think I did land Cooks in one league as my flex, or he may be on my bench actually. So wow, okay.
So I mean, especially if you're in a deeper league, you need to snag you one of those wide receivers. I know Kenny Stills will be back, and he'll probably put up solid points too. So basically, them receivers for Houston are being overlooked, but they're going to put up some numbers. They're going to put up some real numbers. Okay. So, I mean, I won't say, draft them as your wide receiver 2 or your flex, but I'm saying, like, for depth at your position, for unsung heroes, those are your guys.
Okay. No, I can definitely see maybe them. Yeah, I mean, they can potentially be flex options, man. Like a guy that you want to put inside here, depending upon like what else you have, what other alternative you have at the flex option. Yeah, either one of those guys. Like, man, now you got my mind thinking like, okay, man, I feel pretty good about this Brandon Cooks pick, bro.
I mean, just look at it. So when Brandon Cooks was on the Rams, right, 3-headed wide receiver monster, Woods, Kupp, and Cooks, and I think all 3 of them flirted with 1,000-yard 1,000-yard seasons at the same time. Oh yeah,
for sure.
And Cooks, when minus last year, because last year was a complete disaster. Before that, like, Cooks was relevant. All 3 of them was flex plays, a wide receiver 2/flex plays. All 3 of them. Cooks has a bigger role in this offense. So, and it's going to be I feel like a pass-happy offense as well. So just think about that. And like I said, it's Deshaun Watson's MVP tour. It's like he's going to have to make plays, and he's going to give the ball to playmakers. So
I like that. Yeah.
So, yeah, those are my picks. You got anybody else that you're thinking about for wide receivers?
For wide receivers, let me scroll down this list here. For sleeper, nah, I don't. Oh, okay. Let's entertain the fact of what about a Jamison Crowder or a Deontay Johnson? How do you feel about those 2 guys?
I like them. Let's see. Let's go with Crowder first. So Crowder is going to be the number 1 option in the Jets.
Yes.
Crowder has had, I think last season had a few games of 10+ targets.
Yes.
I think actually a couple of 10 reception games too, if I'm not mistaken. He gets open. I mean, in a PPR format, there is appeal for flex upside there for sure.
Okay.
And Deontay Johnson, that's your boy, right?
Yeah, that's my boy who actually, if I'm not mistaken, led all rookie receivers in receiving yards last year. I'm not sure. I would like to double check that stat, but I think I'm correct. And it seems like he has leaped over James Washington for the wide receiver two inside of Pittsburgh's offense. So that's what it seemed like. That's the way that it's going. We all know that Big Ben's wide receiver two normally puts up numbers whenever Big Ben is healthy. So Deontay Johnson is a name that I would like to. I'm not going to say just, you have to pick this guy, but I think he has tremendous upside if Roethlisberger truly is healthy, and he's going to put up another one of those for, maybe 4,500 or 5,000 yard passing seasons. Like someone is going to have to account for that.
Absolutely. And I feel like a lot of Steelers players a lot of people are scared for Steelers players because of what happened last year.
Oh my God. And rightfully so, man. Rightfully so.
That's because you stuck with second, third, and fourth string quarterbacks. Mason Rudolph getting never mind. I'm not gonna make that joke. But
the thing about that is even through all the turmoil that my Steelers have faced, and they finished 8-8, by the way. So great coaching job by Mike Tomlin to rally just a bunch of replacement guys, as they like to call them. But it was only one name that stuck out during this whole turmoil process, and that was Deontay Johnson, the one bright spot.
Yeah, he was solid. And with Big Ben back, it raises everybody's value.
I think so.
Everybody's value. So the ones that's scared of Juju, early on, I mean, if Big Ben is there, Juju should be very productive. James Conner, if he's the cowbell running back, I mean, he'll be more productive. I don't know how Jalen Samuels is going as far as that team, but as far as everybody else, the wide receivers, the tight ends, like everybody gets a boost because of Big Ben.
Sure.
All right. So yeah, wide receivers, like everybody that we name, especially that has, definitely never mentioned. Definitely take in deeper leagues. Please consider them, please. And then lastly, we just go over tight ends really quick.
Okay.
All right. So I know I kind of exposed one of your picks earlier, but I'm kind of definitely on his upside here. Noah Fant. Man. This dude, I feel like he reminds me a little bit of the ability of Evan Ingram in a sense.
Oh, that's okay. I like that. I mean, it makes sense. I'm going to do you one better.
Okay.
I'm going to say he has the potential to become a Mark Andrews.
Ooh.
I think so. The way how Mark Andrews burst on the scene last year was just incredible, man. So anyone who drafted him last year knew that they did a good job, and that's why his ADP has risen this year. But man, Noah Fant is just one of those guys. It's just, man, he has like speed. Like he is a big guy, but he legit has speed. So that was like one of those younger teams that we were mentioning that's going to be good for some time. And if they can keep him as like one of those focal point tight ends, man, he has breakout player written all over.
He does. And he got hands, man. This guy.
Yes, he does.
Guy can catch. All right, so I'm going to throw a name out here. That would be Hayden Hurst.
Falcons, right?
Yep. Okay. He was originally supposed to be the number one tight end in Baltimore. Then, things happened. I think, was it injury? I think it was injury for him or something. And then Mark Andrews, happened. But, Hayden Hurst, I mean, he still has that talent, that the reason why they drafted him. I mean, he's going to a Atlanta Falcons pass-heavy offense. Got stability at, like, every position except for the tight end. They left a big gap with Austin Hooper leaving.
Yep.
Austin Hooper, what did he finish with? Was he the number one tight end last year or the number two? He was up there. I know.
I don't think he you know what?
He led the league in touchdowns.
Yeah.
The tight ends. Maybe that's what it was. He was he was very productive, surprisingly productive last year because I was not a big fan of Austin Hooper until I guess he shut me up last year. But yeah, I think Hayden Hurst is more than qualified to fill that void for that offense. I know Matt Ryan likes targeting tight ends in the red zone, so yeah, I feel like I think he's going undrafted in a lot of leagues too. So just keep an eye on Hayden Hurst there. That's one of my picks.
Okay, so it looks like Austin Hooper finished number 6 overall as far as tight ends, and that's pretty darn good. And he finished with 6 touchdowns. Finished with 6 touchdowns, 787 yards receiving, and to the tune of 191 points, which is very good for a tight end.
Really solid.
So if Hayden Hurst can come somewhere near that number, he'd definitely be worth a pick. So with those numbers, if he's somewhere close, he can be in that top 10 range. Wow.
Facts. And just a couple other names, unless you got one really quick. I got 2 more here.
I have one. I like TJ Hawkinson, and here's why.
Mm-hmm.
So TJ Hawkinson is one of those guys that I picked because, just upside alone. Big guy. He's in the offense that throws the ball a ton. I feel like he took a step back because he is kind of more so – I'm not sure – I don't want to say injury prone just yet, but definitely when Matt Stafford went out, it definitely kind of more so dropped him. You know what I mean? So right. He really wasn't getting the targets or much. But Matt Stafford is back, so maybe he can uplift TJ Hawkinson a little bit.
I can see that because he showed some flashes of greatness for fantasy value last year, for sure. Especially early on. I'm like, where does this guy come from? But he did get drafted in the NFL draft, top 10 pick. Something like that.
Ooh, yeah, it was pretty darn high, man. And like you said, he showed flashes of exactly why he was being picked that high. So, yeah.
All right. So, and then just 2 tight ends that's not being drafted in most drafts by far. Greg Olsen, reliable Greg Olsen.
Reliable. Okay.
He's in Seattle now. Russell Wilson throwing the tight ends.
Yes, he does.
Greg Olsen will get red zone targets. Greg Olsen, I feel like in deeper leagues, in 12-plus leagues, that's the guy to consider. And if you needed a backup tight end that can probably, in just regular leagues, I feel like he's a great option right there. Just keep an eye on Greg Olsen. And then the other guy, now, I don't want to sound like a homer or anything, but Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham, okay.
Just based on the things that I'm reading here over the past couple of weeks, I feel like Jimmy is he I think he went on record and said I got something to prove here. He basically said this is in summary, Green Bay was cool, made it to the playoffs, but this team is about winning. This team wants to win the Super Bowl. He basically feels like he was underappreciated in Green Bay. He's in an offense to where they want to feature the tight end. This is the exact same offense that, they kind of run in Kansas City. And, Travis Kelce has been that guy. Trey Burton did not live to that name. Bless you. Jimmy Graham, I feel like he on this list he's showing as 27 overall for tight end.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And by the way, Greg Olsen was showing 28. So I feel like Jimmy Graham is definitely going to finish way higher than this.
Okay.
I feel like it's going to be a few weeks where he finishes in the top 10. I feel like I'm just saying,
no, I get it. So you're not saying that he's gonna be
the New Orleans Saints
Jimmy Graham,
no.
but he's just he's going to be he's definitely going to finish much higher than his ADP.
Exactly. I feel like he can show shades of the Seattle Seahawks, Jimmy Graham, that was still
Okay.
productive.
Okay.
I honestly feel that way in this offense.
Oh man, you went way deep with this one, bro. So wow.
Because I feel
I like
like
it.
just going down the list, because a lot of people like their ceilings aren't high. Like he has a higher ceiling than most of the guys that's in front of him, like Irv Smith Jr., Ian Thomas, uh, Dawson Knox, uh, Janu Smith, Blake Darwin.
I like John Smith. I like him.
I mean, that offense, yeah, but I feel like, he can definitely have a higher ceiling than most guys that's around him.
For sure.
So.
Oh yeah, especially if we just talking about in terms of just like the ceiling, definitely give me Graham over Smith.
All right, so yeah, that's all I have as far as tight ends concerned, and I guess just names to mention. Anything on your mind?
Yeah, one man. Happy birthday, Kobe Bryant. I know this is a fantasy football podcast that we got going on right here, but Kobe Bryant extends out to basically every platform. So happy birthday, Mama.
Oh, yeah,
Late great Kobe Bean Bryant.
Happy birthday! Tomorrow is Mamba Day, 8/24.
Mamba Day.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So yeah, I think we're about at the end of our first podcast, man.
Great talks, man. Great talks. We gave a couple of insights upon deeper players. We even formulated our own little draft, strategy with trying to reach those guys in every position, at least inside somewhere around the top 10 in
Right.
order to give yourselves a chance to compete for the championship. Injuries will happen. Players will regress. Some will progress. Some will outlive and go way over their projected standings. But if you stick with that formula, man, you're gonna have a chance to make some noise. So yeah, great talk, my guy. Great talk.
Absolutely. So, all right. So follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Destination Fantasy. You can find us on Instagram, The Destination Fantasy. You can find us on Twitter. That is real_DFF. I know these names are slightly different. Couldn't get them all at once, so just got to make do with what we got. Also go to our website, thedestinationfantasy.com. You will find apparel for your favorite teams. You will find also exclusive apparel. If you can see the video now, Deshaun got on some apparel from one of our partner companies, Future Dad Grooming,
I do.
Future Champs.
I am a dad. I am a dad first and foremost, above all. And then right after that comes football, man. So those two things go hand in hand for me. So just like what Jamar said, man, we're doing this thing. We're branching out into some other, avenues, trying to get this thing run off the ground and running. So I feel like we're doing a really good job. So definitely help us out there. Like he said, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I mean, we're trying to be a little bit more active on Twitter as well. But yeah, man, anytime you need a suggestion, lineup, I mean, whatever the case may be, feel free to DM us, message us on any one of those sites.
Yep, absolutely. And so this concludes our first podcast. Be on the lookout for it again next Sunday. In the future, once the season starts, we'll have this. We may have this podcast available late Saturday night, or at the worst, early Sunday morning before kickoff starts. So be on the lookout. The audio version is coming, so be on the lookout for Spotify, Apple Pod, Google Pod. So we'll keep you updated on that. But until then, deuces.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.